I'm currently outside in the sun, drinking coffee, questioning my life choices. Hey, my name is Marty. This channel is called Shut Up and Record. Normally, I make tests with comparing gear to each other and listening to, this microphone and that microphone and whatever. You get the idea. But a few times a year, the bug will hit me and I'll think I can make my patch bay more efficient or work more to my specific needs. And so I end up blowing it up. And so this is the third video in the first time I've documented it on video. In this video, the first video, I tore it apart. Second video, I kind of tested every patch point. And then I said, all right, I'm going to work with it and see what changes. Well, this is the video where you see what changed. And mostly it was just that I put some stuff and I loved it. It looked cool and it made sense on paper. But when I tried to, be able to use the gear, it was in weird places. I couldn't bend over. I couldn't see it easily. I couldn't reach it easily. And, I think I made the patch bay itself unnecessarily complex with some normaling that I did, and it just made it hard to, the point was to remove, make decisions ahead of time for myself, but the practicality of that was that you can't think of everything, and it's just so much faster if I just give myself real basic, here's what goes in, here's what comes out, and I can just patch it in. It takes a few more patch cables, maybe an extra patch bay, but I think it's worth it for the flexibility at this point. Ask me the next time I blow up my patch bay, and I may say something different. But anyways, any of you guys that have been watching these, thanks a lot. It's crazy that you guys want to watch them, but it's kind of fun to make them. I just don't feel so utterly alone in my craziness. But here's the third one, and yeah, thanks a lot. See you later. Bye. Okay, it's Saturday, 8:15 a.m. And this will be kind of I just thought it'd be fun to see. So we're in the front of the studio. And today, I haven't had a chance to work on my patch bay insanity all week because I'm busy getting this place up front ready to go for the season, which is how we pay to have the studio. But so that we can do whatever we want in the studio instead of having to take on clients. I thought I was good to go. There was going to be API 6-space 500 series box right there where all my 500 series preamps would go, and that would keep all my preamps, these are all preamps, in one spot, blah, 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 convenient. And of course, as soon as I said, you know what, I'm just going to keep it and take it off reverb, literally within an hour, it sold. So, I had to change my plans, and I liked this idea. I've got these up front, and I think, man, it would be really nice to just sit right here and be able to tweak as I go. But I also can remember I'll have to do a past iterations of the board and the patch bays to show you where I've come from. But I had a big, solid, hefty, bulky thing that was hard to climb around and get to, and I don't want to go back there. So, because I thought, well, maybe I'll build individual racks and they can just sit here. Maybe I'll build one that'll go across and it'll give me a meter bridge, and I can set my, another set of speakers because, yeah, I need more speakers. But anyway, the main reason why this all came about is because stuff in this rack was too hard. These were too hard for me to see what I was doing when they were here because it was too low. My eyes suck. And I was having to literally get on my knees, and it's just not, workflow didn't work, So these guys are big, they're detented, big knobs, laid out, easy to read, so they work there. And I've just been thinking, and I think this morning over my first coffee, not that one, I realized what I really want to do, what I need to do. Shout out to Sylvia Massey, because I was watching a Show Us Your Junk episode with her and just looking in the background and where she had stuff in relation to where she sits. And it did make me realize those are great, but I don't want to start packing the front of me up again. I like the smooth, calm quietness of it. So I'm going to put my E500 series EQs and stuff that I need to see small. They're just going to go right here in the relatively easy to see. Like that can even stay there. That's perfect height. Put some EQs here. And then these guys, which I love, but they're one of the reasons why I love these Art Transx, beyond that they sound awesome and, you know, but they have a lot of features, but everything is detented. There's big clickers. These are little tiny detents. So I can literally grab them with my eyes closed and just count the clicks and match a pair, or, you know, it's just, I love them for that. I wish, that's one of my favorite features. I need to do an actual review on them. But anyways, I can put these guys, this guy, even this guy if he's up top. They can go on these side things. It's 9:45. I got the mic pre's in this rack, as you can see, and it's very, from my point of view, it's really easy, and every single one of those is detented. So as long as I can figure out, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Down here, the Great River's super easy, same deal. And then these guys are, because you're setting this germanium by listening to this anyway. So I can sit here, have my head mostly where it needs to be, and just spin the dial. So I think I like that. And then we'll get to here. The only preamp that didn't go in is that, plus the 500 series. And I did two things. Number one, this is actually this sticks out, and it was weirdly obscuring this. And also, it leaves me 3 spaces if I ever decide to put a 500 rack in there. And if I get another 500 rack, I will probably at some point start to pull these away. Can you see my fingers? So start to get rid of axes because I love them. But at the same time, if I'm looking at like really nice API or a Neve or some really nice preamp in a 500 series, I probably could use that over these, you know. And I don't think I'll get rid of them. I'll just pull them out of here because I love them. I feel like I could just rack those up and have 8 preamps and do anything I ever wanted to do. So I really like those. All right. Okay, it's 10:15. That rack feels really good. Yeah, it looks nice, but if I roll up here and I look down, this is close enough that I can know where I'm at, what I'm doing. I can see the meter. Probably the worst thing about it is like it's hard to see the meter, but I mean, come on. This same deal. This is one of those 1176. You're going to do it by feel anyways. I could reach down without looking, know which knob I'm on, and get my sounds. So that's fine. And then again, with these guys, they got the, you know, so I think that's perfect. And it's definitely, we got that compressor limiter McMartin thing at the bottom, which is one knob that almost never moves. So this is a super vintage rack without meaning to. It just worked out that way. But that is like, if you want some vibe, that is a vibe rack. All right, 11:15. Got that to there. Move those over there. And here's the deal. So one of the things that I found is that the little thumb screws are impossible to screw in and out if these are next to each other. And sometimes some of these bigger modules just butt up against each other. So stacking them directly on top of each other is just kind of a pain in the butt. And so, you know, if I know about it, I can preemptively fix that problem. Plus, if you'll look, I have space, 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 and maybe you couldn't see that, but space, space. So I could put labels here to easily, quickly be able to know what each module is doing. Same deal here. And then this hole right here, you may notice it's the size of a rack. And I just decided that would make sense to put those, so the preamps are all right here. I'll just get another, probably just a Midas again, and put it right here. And then the preamps, like right now, there's preamps and whatever. This can just be preamps. Because that's a good, again, so if I'm sitting at my desk and I look over, it's real easy to just reach. And if you can imagine, there's one knob, a couple of knobs, you know, like I think this is plenty convenient and accessible for me. And just as far as like cables and stuff going, things going together, you know, it makes sense to me. And then I tuck this pair of JBL 7110s down here. And it's funny because, just side note, I bought this one. It's actually, I had to put it on just a shelf because it didn't have any rack ears or anything. And the guy swears it doesn't have a transformer in it, but I swear it's heavier than this one. So the first chance I get, I'm going to test it, because I found that the ones with the transformers are like 4 dB, or it was some precise number louder. Everything outputs higher. So I'm like, well, rather than having to undo a dozen screws and spend all that time, I'll just run some signal through it and see. And maybe I got lucky. Just turned 12 noon, and I had a stroke of genius or stupidity. It's such a fine line. Just wait till you see the idea. I think it's going to be awesome. Just taking video so I can see how this rat's nest that this is back here. But here we go. No turning back now, baby. Boom. Let's pop that sucker out. Okay. Okay, so if you haven't figured it out, I'm moving that. And so I built this desk so you could have easy access and flexibility, which allows me to put that monitor down below and set it blah, blah, blah. But I can extend, this is like a USB bus. So I think I can still connect to USB stuff that lives on this side of the room away from the computer by passing it through this. It usually worked with no problem, so hopefully we can. Yeah, I guess this is where we talk about it. So, you know, that's not what it's going to look like here, but I figure I can leave this computer here and off, and while it is kind of a monitor right in my face, when I just want to, like you should back in the old days, it's almost hard for my brain to remember what it was like where there was not even a computer, not even a screen in the room. But, you know, at least the monitors, I don't have to be faced here. But realistically, there's a lot of stuff you do where you want to be looking at the computer and making changes. So here, this can live here, and I can turn it on and off. Boom, boom. My mixers, faders and stuff are still here. But then the actual computer can set over here. And I decided to do it on the left side of the room. I'm right-handed, so I can sit here, kick back, boop, and I'm used to working. I actually measured it, and basically from right here, my eyeballs are the same distance away from that screen as when I was right here, more or less, maybe a couple inches, but I can always adjust myself over. So I haven't given up anything as far as visibility. There's a slight, at least, voice in my head that says, well, we're moving it over next to all the electronic equipment, induce noise, and maybe it will, and maybe that'll be the downfall of this idea. But I do not believe it's going to, because I have everything on different circuits and condition and whatnot. So we'll find out. And this is probably one of those things where I'll live with it and go, there's a reason why everybody does this. But maybe not, because I would be wonderful to focus. And it's something as simple as just like, you know, here I'm looking at the ceiling, facing this way for a long time, and your brain's fried. And then, because anything that is going to foster the mental state, allowing me to be more creative, is what I'm really ultimately trying to do here. That was a succinct statement. Wow, I think I'll hit stop now. Just turn that on. Oh, here it comes. Well, here's the test. Oh, crap. Let's see if... There she is. Come on, baby. There you go. One complication I have. The cable to reach this monitor is too short. I've got to find an extension, which I think I have on hand. And then this cable for the console one is too short. And I haven't had a lot of luck using US extensions or whatever, but I do have this thing which will give me 6 more feet. I don't know if it's enough. I might try it. If not, I'll figure it out. So while I'm doing all this stuff, I watch YouTube channels. That's Tim Pierce, who, by the way, was super nice to me. I did what did I call it? 5 things a few years back. I just would pick things that I thought other people should be looking at on YouTube, and he was one of them. And I just emailed him and said, hey, I'm going to do this thing. And he was just super cool about it. But anyways, not the point. The point is, I'm watching it. Boom. I mean, there's a price to pay if you're going to have this, you know, space shuttle cockpit of creativity. There's just going to be that. You can't, there's just, who has friggin' time? So it made me feel, I just had to laugh out loud. And this is from a Andrew Masters video. So I'm going to probably email him and ask him if it's okay that I used his clip rather than just use it. But it made me laugh. So there's some insanity all its own. You know, I just came back from, I'm multitasking, so I'm here. I've been in here for about probably an hour now, getting stuff organized, really starting to wire stuff up. That's actually done. The ins and outs are done there. But I just realized, you know, it should probably raise my like stress levels, but I'm not even stressed. Like, I feel pretty good and confident about this. So it's 5:45. I have not been in here all day. I've gotten a lot of stuff done in a lot of different places. But where I'm at is, and it's Saturday, by the way, that is completely wired in. So the microphone lines come in from the live room, and then the top two, boop, boop, are the lines that run to the preamps, and those are all wired in. So those preamps are wired in. The preamps that currently live here are gonna move to another 500 series down there, mostly just for organization, and then it'll be compression and EQ in those 500 series, and I don't have that yet. It looks like I'm going to end up buying some more cables doing it this way, but it feels good. It feels like the first one had to happen, you know, and then it's like you get into it and you're like, oh crap, the mind version versus the reality of sitting down and trying to make it work were two different things. But it's coming along, and it's not going to look like this. When I'm done, this time I'm going to wire it in organized. So at the worst, it would be, I mean, that at least is somewhat pleasing, right? So anywho, and I'm just going to make the patch bays there. I don't think there's going to be anything normal to anything with the exception, well, just a few things. So, all right. This is fun. I'm tired. I need pizza. It's 8:31 a.m. Sunday morning. I'm thinking about that hole there, and I do. Big part of me wants to just do another 500 rack just for preamps, but another part of me is like, man, maybe I should just sit for now, keep them in there, and roll, and eventually end up with some multi-channel rack thing. I don't know. I'm a lot going on. Then I'm thinking, well, I love these Midas boxes, but like the Radial and some other ones give you a DB25 input. They give you a 1/4 inch input and XLRs, which just means no matter what situation, I'm going to have a cable for it. So you're paying a little more for it up front, but it's so practical and convenient, you know? So I don't know. Dilemma. I'll drink some of this coffee here and get back with you. Debating jumping off the dock. Okay, it's a minor meltdown at this point because I just can't decide. Do I want to put my preamp outs up here, which means these will just be nothing except for the one that has a line input, or do I want to put my preamps here, normal them to 500 series EQs, so they would go in there and come out here, but that means my cables are hitting one each, and that's where it becomes a nest. And then this is still empty. You can normal that into compressors. Oh geez. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Pretty organized. The power's not in yet, and I'm actually missing some cables doing it this way, but I think I'm going to invest in cables as I look at my options and realistically how I want to do it. Actually making decent progress, and it's 4 o'clock I think, but I've been doing a bunch of other stuff unrelated to the patch bay today. So man, the place is a mess, but I do have a 16 channel 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch, a long one, which normally I make work with all of this art stuff because it has 1/4 inch out, but I just don't want to put it all together with the other stuff. You know, I'm being a little brat. Like, those have 1/4 inch out. I don't know. We'll see. Moving along. Okay. I mean, that looks pretty neat right there. That looks pretty okay, and I haven't, this is just the rough. So you can see, I guess, I mean, if it looks crazy, it's really not. This is the best I've ever done. It's all going to that side, and then the power cords are not tangled. Like, when I go to do it, I can pull them like this. And so they're still, I mean, there is a little bit of a mess, but it's all power tomorrow morning. And I just got to have this done by Wednesday when I put this video out. So it's only Sunday night. I think I'm in a good place. And then I did actually, I'll walk around and I'll show you. It's, you know, I understand that I'm lucky to be able to do this, but I've just started to buy and sell gear and flip it. And I've got a pretty steady stream of, sell something, buy something going on. So anyways, I just tonight bought a 10 space Lindell rack, and it's gonna be here Wednesday. Come on, do it. Ooh. Okay, it's about 8:30. Boop. I had all night to think about it, and I feel really good. I know some people misunderstand this process. I do this, it's seasonally. You know, I finish one part of the year where I know I'm using the studio every day, and then now I've got to transition to making the money for the year, and so now's the time to do it. And it's just a constant refinement. I say that refinement as a joke, but it's not. It just keeps getting better and better and more coherent is the word. So let's see. You know, it looks really good to me. Like, that's a good place to be right now. All right, I'll go make some money or do stuff to make some money, and I'll come back later tonight and maybe work on some power and just more tidying up of cables. But I'm feeling awesome. Like, this place is, you know, it's a machine built to enhance my creativity. 6 o'clock. I haven't actually started anything. Thinking about it all day, but working on projects. Okay. It's about, I don't know, 8:30 something on Tuesday. I'm going to wire I'm waiting the cable, the outputs from there that I need an extra snake should be here today. But what I'm really doing today is I'm going to wire all this stuff, you know, plug it all in and get it all made neat and try and neaten that up. And, you know, and then I need to start editing this into a video that should be out tomorrow sometime. And keep doing everything else I'm doing all over the freaking place. So, okay, it's 10:18 Tuesday morning. Still looks a little bit funky. I think I need to move the power because I just don't have enough slack. This one cable, so I'm gonna call it good for today. These little, it's an argument to move the FMR stuff down somewhere, but I think that looks pretty neat. You know, signal goes on that side, power goes on this side. Over here, looks pretty good. You got this stuff, and I've got new cables coming, so we're gonna live with this little bit of ugliness, but you can see it looks pretty good. Oh, I still have to hook up the Chandler. And then over there, that one looks really clean. Okay, there's a look at this one, the cleanest of the racks, but that's because the output snake isn't here yet, but it'll still look pretty good. But it's just most simple. It has the least amount of stuff in it. Anyways, here we go. They're powered on, powered on, powered on. Connected. I'm gonna do a little bit of patchbay connecting. I'm pretty confident in it. So I think that ends it for now. This thing is supposed to come tomorrow. So I guess there's gonna be a patchbay Insanity 4, but you sort of are getting the idea that that was gonna be the case regardless. Thanks for watching. Bye.